From New York, New York, it's Antiques Load Show.
$20,000? I can't believe this is great.
Ugly piece of crap. That's what I always said, but now my kids, they're going to college. Wah!
You guys gotta take a look at this. I mean, look at this shit's 10 grand. Charlie. Shit.
Antiques Load Show visited New York with an eye on historic celebrity loads. I'm Clark L. Smelberg, here to show you that going to the bathroom isn't just for people that have to go, but for collectors as well.
So this is a set of droppings from the late, great Harriet Tubman.
Very impressive. I'm very excited to dive into this. I mean, even just a quick glance, I can tell you right away, this larger log here, it's exited Harriet's body at a very stressful time, what we call a hurried shit. Looking further, there's indentations here that suggest to me that she was probably on the move quite a bit. As you can see, these larger ass cookies are quite big, but these smaller ones, they look like they were separated, likely exited her body at a later time. A dingleberry.
We always thought it was a dingleberry.
Definite dingleberry. I mean, the shape is dingleberry, just the essence of it, you can tell. I would be very confident in saying that this is of the dingleberry family.
I bet she was relieved to get rid of that dingleberry.
Oh, that is a fact. And now I don't want to lowball you here because, again, this is a very impressive, not to mention historic collection, okay? But I would say the smorgasbord of droppings could easily go anywhere between $150,000 to $175,000.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. I can't believe it.
Oh, wow. Or you could also donate them to the Smithsonian.
No.
Now this is a load of hats from John Wayne's collection.
A hat load. Please go on.
My grandfather worked on the sets of all of his films. Each hat is from a different film, and under each one, another dookie from the Duke. We've got The Quiet Man, True Grit, The Searchers, and under this one, The Mother Load from his last feature, The Shootist.
Why don't you tell us about this last one here? How did it come into your collection?
Now, every day, Mr. Wayne would go out into the woods to take a dump. Sort of like what they would do in the Wild West, preserve the character. And every day, my grandpappy would follow him out there to pick up his poop. Now, my grandfather knew that this was going to be worth something someday, so he bagged it up, he preserved it.
Well, your grandfather was absolutely right to do so. I mean, just looking at it here, you can tell in the shade, it's much lighter than the other samples here. That means to me that it probably exited John Wayne's poop chute quite early in the day. A lot of sun exposure, okay? Something else indicative here of a traditional Wayne dookie is the amount of ridges. Okay, now that means a lot of horseback riding, a lot of gun shooting, things that you and I both know John Wayne did quite a bit of. And if you look at the ridge, actually, sir, upon closer inspection, I'm afraid the ridge actually indicates that the sample is canine.
No!
Yes.
No, don't tell me that!
Yeah, probably bloodhound, quite popular in the forest, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite funny. In the industry, we call this a faux poo. Sorry. Now, all is not lost. Maybe this bloodhound ate a collection of rare coins. I'm happy to dive in here. And
please do.
Okay, I'm just going to separate sample. No, there's nothing of value in here.
Aw, crap!
This is a scabbard or a sword holster that was used by our first president, George Washington.
Ah, fascinating. Yes, it definitely looks authentic. How did you acquire it?
Well, my great-grandfather was at a museum in Washington, and they were selling a couple of pieces, and he just absolutely fell in love with it.
Well, it's very interesting indeed. I don't see how it's relevant to Antiques Load Show.
Ah.
Oh.
This fell out of Washington over 200 years ago, just as it has fallen out of this scabbard.
As a turdologist, I have to say this is extremely exciting to see this. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, these lumps, They indicate a high fish diet, which is true Washington. How much do you think this is worth?
Well, when my great-grandfather bought it 110 years ago, he paid about $1,000 for it then.
Yeah. Well, that was then. This is now. I mean, the holster alone has to be $5,000 easy, but coupled with the Washington deuce, you're talking like $800,000.
Well, that is excellent.
And I understand you have more in your collection?
Oh, yes, I do. Once I had this dookie from Washington, I could not stop there. I have here droppings from the other 38 men who signed the Constitution.
This is astounding. This is the greatest historical collection of fecal matter I've ever seen. Possibly anyone's ever seen. Sorry, I'm a bit breathless.
It really is amazing, right?
No, I mean, I can't breathe. I have to take a step back. It's quite a lot of shit. You understand?
Yes.
You're talking millions at this point. Easily.
Really?
Oh.
Millions?
Yeah. I mean, the Washington brownie alone was great, but this is a veritable poo-poo treasure chest. Yeah. You must have spent years collecting this.
Oh, yes, I have. Lost 2 wives over this. They thought it was weird. Shit collector. That's what they used to call me. Well, who's laughing now? I am. All the way to the bank. The shit bank.
Yeah. Well, Jim, I personally want to thank you. This has been the best day of my life.
Mine too. Come here.
800 grand? Millions? I gotta start bagging shit. You never know what it'll be worth. Tune in next time for a different type of Antiques Load Show as people bring in loads from the front of the body and not the back. I'm Clark L. Smelberg. I'm talking about semen.